This is a story about a scary experience that happened to me and my friend Justin. It was Friday night, probably around 9 or 10 o'clock. I had went over to my friend Justin's house to hang out for a bit. Shortly after I got there, Justin got a call from another friend of ours telling us his parents was out of town and that he was having a huge party at his place. He invited us both to come. We thought it'd be pretty cool, so we agreed and told him we'd be right over. We hopped in my truck and made our way to his place. When we got there, you could hear the music from outside, and you could hear people partying and jumping in the pool out back. We got out and went in. We found our friend, and he told us to enjoy ourselves. So we did. We were there for probably around an hour or so when these two girls approached us and asked us if we wanted to go with them to this cabin in the woods for some real fun. Me and Justin looked at each other and thought that sounded kind of funny at first, but we didn't want to come off as losers, so we agreed. They said great, and we followed them downstairs and met up with two other guys who were going as well. When we all got in the car with the girls, they said they had a few more of their girlfriends at the cabin waiting for us. As we left the area and made our way to the woods, I whispered to Justin that I wasn't too sure about this idea anymore, that something about it just felt off. He agreed, and we became really cautious at this point. We traveled down a dirt road for a ways before pulling off on the side and stopping. The girls turned the car off and said, "Everybody out. We have to walk a little ways to the cabin." We all got out, and the four of us guys began following these two girls, who kept looking back at all of us and then at each other, smiling. And it wasn't a hot smile either, more like a creepy one. The girls were in front, with the other two guys right behind them. I grabbed Justin's arm for a minute and told him, "I don't like this anymore, man. I've never went to a freaking cabin in the woods just for a good time. Nah, man, something about this is just weird." Justin agreed with me and said he was feeling kind of uneasy. Around that time, the girls noticed we weren't following them and said, "Hey, you boys coming?" I looked back at them and said, "Yeah, no worries. Justin here had to stop for a minute to take a leak, so I'm hanging back with him so he don't get left behind on his own." I told them to go ahead and we'd catch up. But instead, they just waited on us, so we had to actually pretend like he was doing his business and then caught up with them. We walked slow behind everyone. I looked at my phone and I barely had any service, so I sent a text to my friend Cody real quick before I lost it and told him we need help. I gave him my last known location before we turned off on the dirt road, and I said, "Stop when you see a blue car parked on the side of the road and wait for us. We're gonna need you." Thankfully, it sent, and all I could hope is that he got it and that he would be able to find us. We kept following the girls until finally we could make out a cabin in the distance. When we got there, it was dark and there were hardly any lights on inside. The girls said, "Come on in, boys." We all four went in and sat on the couch. The girls shut the door behind them, and I'm pretty sure I saw one of them lock it as well. This had me on edge. They told us to wait right there as they went to get the other two girls from their room so they could all get ready and then bring them out front to meet us. When they walked out of the room, I leaned over and told Justin, "Dude, I'm out. I don't like this." And I told him to come on, that I was leaving. As I started to unlock the door to leave, one of the girls stopped me and said, "Hey, where are you going?" in almost a pissed off tone. I got nervous and said, "Oh, I was just going to step outside to take a leak real quick." She looked at me like she thought I was up to something and said, "Didn't you and your friend already go outside?" I replied, "Yeah, he did, but I didn't." She just looked at me for a minute and said, "Well, you don't have to go outside. There's a bathroom down the hall." I said, "Oh, okay. Well, thanks for letting me know then." She went back to the other girls in the back room, I then told Justin I was going to the bathroom to see if there was a window to climb out of. I found the bathroom, and there indeed was a window to climb out of. So I pretended to do my business, flushing the toilet and all. I went back to the front room and told Justin we could make a break for it, and said, "Go to the bathroom and act like you're getting sick. I will come after you to help you out." He said all right, and immediately put on a ruse that he was getting sick and ran to the bathroom, slamming the door shut behind him. I got up a couple seconds after him and ran to the bathroom door, meeting all 4 girls at the door. They said, "What's going on?" I told them my friend got sick to his stomach and that he had one too many at the party, and that everything was okay and just to give us a minute. I knocked on the door and said, "Justin, you all right, buddy?" He replied as sickly as he could, saying, "Nah, man, I don't feel very good." I told him to let me in so I could help him out. He opened the door to let me in, and as I was closing it behind me, they all stopped the door and said, "Hurry up," almost looking mad at us. I said, "We will, don't worry," and shut the door and locked it. I waited by the door until I could hear all 4 of them go to the front with the other 2 guys. I said, "All right, Justin, we gotta get out of here. They're gonna kill us or something." I turned on the sink to give us some getaway noise to distract them. We had to force the window open, and I helped Justin out and then followed after him. As I was climbing out, I could hear one of the girls banging on the door, saying, "Are you done in there yet? What's taking so long?" I quickly hopped down and said, "Come on, man, run." We started running as fast as we could away from the cabin. We got about 50 to 100 feet away when I could make out the sound of the bathroom door being smashed down and the girl screaming, "They got away!" And shortly after that, we could hear the other 2 guys screaming and yelling, "Help us!" as we got further away. I didn't know what was happening to them, and I didn't want to find out. We kept running for a bit, and Justin stopped for a second, out of breath, saying, "I'm tired. I can't keep going, man." I grabbed his arm and said, "Dude, I'm tired too, but if we don't get out of here, we're gonna die, man." He took a deep breath, and we continued running until finally we could make out the road and 2 cars parked on it. I said, "We're almost there," and as I did, I could hear branches snapping behind us. I turned my head to see those 4 girls chasing after us in the distance. I said, "Justin, hurry, man." And when I looked back towards the road, I could see the other car was thankfully my friend Cody waiting on us. I yelled to him to turn the car around and to have your foot ready on the gas. I sighed in relief when he started to do just that. As he was getting turned around, we finally caught up to him and hopped in. I told him to floor it as fast as possible. He looked in the woods from where we were running from, and he could see the girls getting closer, and we could all see that they had blood all over them. He floored it, and we had Cody take us back to the party so I could get my truck, and then I took Justin home and said I'm going home as well, and I thanked Cody for saving us. That's been a few weeks back now, and no one has heard anything from the boys that went to the cabin with us. Now, I don't know how they got them, but both me and Justin got a text a few days after the party from an unknown number saying simply, "We have your scent, and it's only a matter of time."